I am Kyra, here to guide and encourage others to have a transformed perspective as we evolve on this journey called life. Before I get started, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. Today, I'm talking about mind chatter and how you don't have to believe everything your mind says. Our minds are constantly moving and going, and we're experiencing thoughts and emotions and so much on a constant, on a daily. And sometimes we let those thoughts pass and flow on by, and sometimes we don't. At times we have a thought come up and we grab onto it. We hold onto it for dear life and we don't let it go. Or we try to push it and force it away, which ironically is holding on to it even tighter than we expect. It's kind of like if you have goo or something on your hand and you're trying to shake it off. That's kind of what it's like when you're trying to force yourself to stop thinking a thought. You're just holding on to it tighter. And we all do that, and we're human. And I just wanted to kind of dive deeper and talk about this because recently I've discovered and realized a lot of things that I've had come up and assumed were not true. It wasn't true. And over the past couple of months, I've seen that what my mind has said about so much, whether it's about myself, others, the external world, and circumstances and situations that I'm experiencing, that the mind is not always true. And we have the choice to be open and more aware when it comes to the mind. The mind can tell us so much about ourselves, and it shows us a lot. Through emotions and thoughts and everything that comes up, it reveals so much to us. If we just truly listen and are aware of what's coming up, it can make all the difference. And we can learn so much about ourselves, others, and life in general. For example, let's say you get a job promotion and you're excited, you go out to eat with your friends, and while you're eating with your friends, they're whispering and kind of going off to the side without you. And so these thoughts come up. And the thoughts are like, oh, they're probably talking about me, or they're not sitting down and paying attention. They don't care about my promotion. They're not real friends. They're leaving me out. All these thoughts are coming up. All these assumptions are coming up. And those assumptions later trigger emotions and thoughts and a lot of insecurities and things that maybe were lying dormant within you to come up. In those moments, you allow the thoughts to come in. You receive the thoughts, but you're holding on to it. So a couple days go by and this thought is still in the back of your head, and these assumptions about your friends and what's going on, it's still there. You still haven't let that thought go. You let the thought in, but you're holding on to it for dear life. And even if you try to push it away, you're still holding on to it and it's not flowing. Your friends text you out of the blue a couple days later and they're like, oh, come over, come over. Let's hang out. We want to talk about something. Da, 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 da. You're going over there, but your mind is adding on to the assumptions that you had before, trying to guess what's going to happen and kind of still holding on to what came up when you were eating dinner. You get there, you knock on the door, surprise. It's a surprise party for your promotion. So this example just shows that not everything that comes up with your thoughts and in your mind is necessarily true. Often this happens and then we forget that happened. We forget that the mind was wrong, that these assumptions were incorrect. And we also forget everything that came up. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a bad thing. It doesn't mean that the mind is bad and thoughts and emotions are bad. The mind is actually a tool. And if we use it in that way, we can become so much more aware and change our lives and help others and help ourselves and so many other things that can happen if we recognize the mind as a tool and not allow it to control our lives and take over and be in this imbalance. It brings up stuff from the past. It brings up worries and fears of the future and all this stuff that's lying dormant within us. So we can see what's inside of us that wants to be seen, heard, loved, healed, and so much more. And so it's not necessarily a negative thing. We take it that way because we don't like the feelings and the emotions. It's a lot in the moment. And without awareness, you can't really have a different perspective of what's going on and what you're experiencing. Everything that comes up in your mind, your emotions, all of that affects you internally and externally. And we affect each other in this way. So it's really important to take a moment to just step back and at least try to show up in a different way, especially once you recognize it. There's a technique that I learned from listening to Eckhart. That is to allow your thoughts to pass like clouds. They come up, you hear it, and then you allow it to go. You do not necessarily have to hold on to it and grab onto it. And we do that a lot when we are identified with the mind, when we are identified with our emotions, and we're not fully aware. We grab onto it or we try to push it away. But instead, you can try something new and think of your thought as a cloud. There's so much chatter happening, and you are capable of just sitting back and being aware of them and not allowing it to take over and be who you are or control your life. Essentially, this technique is meditation. That's what meditation is all about. It's about listening. It's not about trying to force anything to go away and just be at peace and quiet and just hum. It's ultimately just listening. Being able to look at your thoughts as clouds and kind of use that metaphor is very helpful and will bring you back to here, now, presence. So you are aware and observing what's going on inside. We're all learning and discovering so much about ourselves, life, and each other. And most of us are not taught this growing up. We're not taught this in school. We're not really aware of what's going on internally. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you learned anything new, if you have discovered anything about the mind and you want to share it, and what you like best about the video. Just anything below, share it. It is a total safe space. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. Remember, it's not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective.